Imagine waking up one morning to find your only daughter missing without a trace. You search everywhere, but all you find are whispers of old secrets buried deep within your family. Stay with me as we unravel the eerie mystery of a father's quest to uncover what happened to his missing daughter. Picture this, a small, isolated town shrouded in mist, where the shadows of ancient trees stretch like skeletal fingers over the winding roads. It's here that we meet a father, his eyes haunted and filled with distress, every line on his face etched with worry and desperation. His daughter vanished one cold, moonless night, leaving behind no clues, just an air of inexplicable absence that sent chills down the spine of everyone in town. As the hours turned into days and the days into weeks, the father became consumed with one burning question: what horrifying secret was lurking beneath the surface of their seemingly perfect life? Stay until the end to uncover the chilling truth that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about family, loyalty, and the dark depths of human nature. The father's account begins with a deep breath, his voice trembling as he recounts the days leading up to his daughter's disappearance. Our lives seemed normal at first glance. We lived in that small, mist-shrouded town where everyone knew each other. My daughter Emily was the light of my life, a bright, cheerful girl with a smile that could warm the coldest of hearts. We had our routines, breakfast together every morning, walks in the park on weekends, and bedtime stories every night. But as I look back now, I realize there were strange occurrences we brushed off. The week before Emily vanished, she started complaining about bad dreams. She would wake up crying, saying that a shadowy figure watched her from the corner of her room. I dismissed it as just nightmares, the kind every child has, but Emily insisted it felt real. I remember one night she came running into my room, her face pale with fear, claiming that she heard whispers calling her name. I checked her room, finding nothing. I assured her it was just her imagination, and she eventually fell back asleep by my side. Other odd things started to happen around the house. Objects would go missing or be found in strange places. Emily's favorite doll, which she always kept on her bed, was once found outside in the garden covered in dirt. Doors would creak open by themselves, and there were cold spots in the house that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. One evening, Emily and I found the family cat staring intently at an empty corner of the living room, hissing and arching its back. There was nothing there, but the cat refused to move for a long while. Despite these eerie signs, I convinced myself everything was fine. Life continued as usual until that dreadful night. Emily had gone to bed after our usual bedtime story, her laughter still echoing in the hallway. I tucked her in, kissed her goodnight, and turned off the light. Little did I know that would be the last time I saw her. When I woke up the next morning, her bed was empty. At first, I thought she had gone downstairs early, but when I called out, there was no answer. Panic set in as I searched every inch of the house, only to find her beloved teddy bear lying on the front doorstep, an ominous sign that something was terribly wrong. As I pieced together those final days, the strange occurrences took on a new, sinister meaning. The bad dreams, the whispers, the unexplained happenings, they were all warnings that I had ignored. Now I was left with the unbearable guilt of not protecting my daughter, and the burning need to uncover the horrifying secret that took her away from me. Stay with me as we delve deeper into this chilling mystery, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs, and the true terror of what lies beneath our seemingly perfect lives is revealed. The unsettling clues began to emerge almost tauntingly, as if daring the father to uncover the dark reality hiding in plain sight. The first clue surfaced in Emily's sketchbook. Amidst the innocent drawings of flowers and family, there was one image that stood out, a crude sketch of a tall, shadowy figure with glowing eyes lurking by her bedroom window. The father stared at the drawing in disbelief, his heart pounding as he felt a cold sweat break out. This was no ordinary nightmare. It was as though Emily had been trying to tell him something through her art, a desperate cry for help that he had somehow missed. Determined to find more answers, he started to look through Emily's belongings with a scrutinizing eye. In her school bag, he found a small, folded piece of paper tucked away in her pencil case. Unfolding it, he read a series of jumbled, frantic words. He watches, can't sleep, always there. The handwriting was shaky, almost illegible, but the message was clear. Emily had been terrified and he had been oblivious. His search led him to the attic, a place he rarely ventured. As he climbed the creaking steps, each one felt like a heartbeat echoing his growing dread. Dust particles danced in the beam of his flashlight as he rummaged through old boxes and forgotten memories. It was there, in a dusty corner, that he found Emily's diary. The leather-bound book, covered in cobwebs, seemed to pulse with a sinister energy. Hands trembling, he opened the diary to the first page. Emily's neat handwriting filled the entries, starting with ordinary events of her day. But as he read further, the entries became darker, more disturbing. She wrote of waking up to find her window open, despite it being locked the night before. She described hearing faint whispers that seemed to come from the walls themselves. And then there were the drawings, more sketches of the shadowy figure, always closer, always more menacing. Each entry felt like a stab to the father's heart. How had he not known? How had he dismissed her fears so easily? As he reached the final entries, the words became more frantic. Emily wrote about a feeling of being watched, of cold hands touching her in the middle of the night, and a voice that promised to take her away if she didn't comply. The last entry ended abruptly with a chilling sentence, "He's coming for me tonight." The father's desperation grew with each discovery. He felt like he was racing against time, each clue pulling him deeper into a web of fear and uncertainty. The cold spots in the house, the missing objects, they all started to form a pattern, one he couldn't ignore. He spent sleepless nights piecing together the clues, his mind tormented by the thought of what might have taken his daughter. In his search, he found himself drawn to the basement, a place even more ominous than the attic. The air was thick with an oppressive silence as he descended the stairs. He noticed for the first time a loose brick in the wall. With a sense of dread, he pried it loose and found a small, hidden compartment. Inside was an old, rusted key and a note. The note was written in a shaky hand, different from Emily's, but the message was equally alarming. "The door must remain locked. Do not let it out." The father's mind raced. What door? What was locked away? His thoughts were interrupted by a sudden, icy breath on the back of his neck. He spun around, his flashlight beam cutting through the darkness, but there was nothing there. Panic surged through him as he realized the true scale of the horror he was facing. Every clue he uncovered only deepened the mystery and heightened his fear. He was on the brink of uncovering a truth too terrifying to comprehend, but he couldn't stop now. He had to know what had taken his daughter, even if it meant facing the darkest of evils head-on. Stay with me as we venture further into this haunting journey, where the answers we find may be more terrifying than the questions we ask. The horrifying secret that the father uncovered was something beyond his worst nightmares. As he stood in the dimly lit basement, clutching the old rusted key, a chilling realization dawned upon him. The key was meant for the cellar, a place that had been sealed off for decades, hidden beneath layers of old furniture and forgotten memories. With trembling hands, he cleared the way and unlocked the door. The hinges creaked as the door swung open, revealing a narrow staircase descending into the pitch-black darkness. Stepping down into the cellar, the air grew colder and more oppressive with each step. The smell of damp earth and decay filled his nostrils, making him gag. His flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. As he reached the bottom, he saw something that made his blood run cold. The cellar was lined with strange symbols and markings, etched into the walls, floor, and ceiling. In the center of the room was a makeshift altar, covered in old, dried blood. The father's breath caught in his throat as he saw the remains of ancient rituals, remnants of a dark past he had never known. But the most disturbing revelation came when he found a hidden compartment beneath the altar. Inside was a collection of old journals, filled with entries detailing forbidden practices and dark ceremonies. The journals belonged to his ancestors who had dabbled in the occult, summoning malevolent entities from beyond. One entry stood out, written in a frantic and hurried hand. It spoke of a pact made with a shadowy figure, a being that granted unimaginable power in exchange for a sacrifice. The price for breaking this pact was the soul of the firstborn child of each generation. The father's heart pounded as he realized the horrifying truth. His family had been cursed, and Emily was the latest victim. As he read further, the entries became more gruesome, describing the rituals used to bind the entity and keep it at bay. The old rusted key was part of the binding spell, and the door it sealed was meant to trap the entity within the cellar. But over the years, the seals had weakened, and the entity had found a way to influence the world above, manifesting in the shadowy figure Emily had seen. Tears streamed down the father's face as he pieced everything together. Emily's bad dreams, the whispers, the eerie occurrences, they were all signs of the entity's growing power. He had dismissed her fears, thinking they were just nightmares, not realizing the true danger she was in. The thought of his daughter being taken by such a malevolent force was unbearable. Determined to confront the entity and save his daughter, the father searched the cellar for anything that could help him. He found an ancient dagger inscribed with the same symbols that lined the walls. The journals mentioned that the dagger could be used to banish the entity, but the ritual required a great sacrifice. The father knew what he had to do. He would do anything to bring Emily back, even if it meant offering his own life. With the dagger in hand, he began the ritual, chanting the incantations from the journals. The air grew colder, and the shadows in the cellar seemed to come alive, swirling around him. He felt a presence, a dark, malevolent force that seemed to watch him from the shadows. As he completed the ritual, the entity emerged, a towering figure of darkness with glowing eyes. It spoke in a voice that chilled him to the bone, mocking him for trying to defy the pact. The father stood his ground, holding the dagger tightly. He made a desperate plea, offering his soul in exchange for Emily's. The entity laughed, its voice reverberating through the cellar, but it accepted the offer. With a swift movement, the father plunged the dagger into his own heart, completing the ritual. The entity let out an unearthly scream as it was banished back to the abyss, and the cellar fell silent. In his final moments, the father saw a vision of Emily, safe and sound, her bright smile returning. He knew he had saved her, but the cost was his own life. As the darkness closed in, he found solace in the thought that the horrifying secret had been uncovered, and his daughter was finally free from the curse that had plagued their family for generations. Stay with me as we unveil the aftermath of this harrowing tale, where the line between heroism and sacrifice blurs, and the legacy of a father's love endures beyond the grave. In summary, the father's ultimate sacrifice allowed Emily to escape the clutches of the malevolent entity, breaking the curse that had plagued their family for generations. But the aftermath of his actions left a town reeling with unanswered questions and an eerie silence that seemed to hang in the air. Emily was found wandering near the edge of the forest, disoriented and unable to recall the events that transpired. As she reunited with the townspeople, the shadow of her father's sacrifice loomed large, a haunting reminder of the darkness they narrowly escaped. The cellar was sealed once more, and the journals were hidden away, but the whispers of the past couldn't be entirely silenced. The townsfolk could never look at the old house the same way again, its walls echoing with the memories of the horrors that had unfolded within. Yet Emily grew up marked by the experience, her dreams still occasionally haunted by the shadowy figure. The questions of what truly lies in the depths of human nature and the dark secrets families can harbor remained, provoking a sense of unease that would linger long after the story was told. The father's story reminds us that some mysteries are best left buried, but they also leave us pondering what other secrets might still lie hidden in the quiet corners of our own lives. The chilling truth of this tale is a testament to the lengths one would go to protect their loved ones, even facing the darkest evils head-on. As we close this chapter, one cannot help but wonder, are there more stories like this waiting to be uncovered? Could there be other families battling their own hidden horrors? Stay tuned as we delve into more mysteries that lurk in the dark, reminding us that sometimes the most terrifying secrets are the ones we keep closest to our hearts. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an unsettling tale. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning the shadows around you.